So a couple years ago, I was at the Home Depot. I believe that's where I originally saw it. I saw a fuel station. It was a large, probably 15-gallon fuel tank on wheels. Had a little hose that came out of it that you could squeeze and pump the gas. Thought it was a great idea, but I didn't like the price. The price was about $200. So I've kind of put it in the back of my head till recently. I have this. I got this at an auction. I bought a lot. I bought an entire lot of stuff, and this was just kind of thrown in. Didn't know what I was going to do with it. It's blue, so at one point it was probably a water tank, but I believe the farmer used it for fertilizer because it definitely smells like it, and he had it mounted sideways on the back of a four-wheeler actually. And then he had a little electric fuel pump hooked up to here that would spray for him. But I'm going to mount this in a little dolly, almost just like a little, I guess you could just mount it strictly on a dolly, but I'm going to make its own little dolly that it sits in so you can lift it up in the bed of a truck and whatnot, so permanently affixed to it. But then I'll devise a way to pump the gas out of here and into your vehicle, or into your lawnmower or whatever. So far, this is what I've come up with. This is actually the frame off of a riding mower. It actually ran parallel. These weren't here, so this wall was already bent up here, and then there was one over here. Wasn't wide enough to fit this barrel, so I actually had to cut it and then cut it away from the bottom and push it out, and I kind of just rounded it to the barrel. So now the barrel will fit in there nice and snug. Yep. So it fits in there nice and snug. So now I have these extra wheels laying around. So I'm going to weld these to this, and then weld a set of handles that come up and around. Not much more. Probably something. I have a whole bunch of this round pipe, so probably weld it down in there, and I actually even have curved pieces, so weld it. Probably something that curves up and around that I might even put it into here so it holds the back of the barrel, and then I can put a strap or something around it so you can actually lean it back and wheel it. Or I was wondering if I could actually, lean it back. If you have the hose coming out of here, if you could lean it back, and as long as it's over halfway full, you should be able to fill up most lawnmowers and whatnot. But we'll see. I have these pieces. This piece these are actually old trampoline parts. They had this curve in them. I cut them, join them together so it makes a perfect hoop. Then I'll insert these down like so. And since these are actually trampoline parts, there's actually set screws right where I need them. So I can just put a set screw there and set screw there, weld these down there, but the handle would then be removable if I ever wanted to in the future. But this will allow me to tip it back, wheel it, stand it up. If I want to run the hose out here, I can. And it also sits right against the barrel, so it holds it in there. So now I'll just tack weld here. I'll probably build a little brace coming off up here, going forward, probably almost touching the barrel, coming to there, so it gives it better leverage. And put the wheels on, go from there. So tack this in place, just tack there. I made these side brackets, side braces, cut them out real fast, and they'll go there and up there, and that'll tie it up to the front and also sit against that barrel, keep that barrel against there. So I'll just tack that in, there we go. Just welded on 2 little feet, and I bolted on 2 wheels just through the sheet metal. So the feet are just the same height as the wheels. Not bad. Now that that's done, now I just need to figure out exactly how I'm going to get the gas out. So probably going to remove this right here. This was an elbow that somebody had installed. There's original cap, so that's how it would originally have been, just like that. Now this is made out of HDPE plastic, which is food grade, but that supposedly is the exact same plastic that they make these bad boys out of. So should be good. And it does look like this might have had fuel in it before, fuel or fertilizer or something. It kind of smells like old gas. I don't know. But it'll work. It won't leak. So this is also vented already. He's already drilled a hole to vent it. Somebody has. So it's vented. There's no, I don't really see a difference between newer tanks like this. There's no vent at all. They're just completely sealed. And this plastic right here is probably only a third as thick as the plastic in this thing. This thing is thick. 17 gallons should be really nice. I'll probably leave this thing on. I'll probably put some pipe dope tape around it. You know, just so I can fill all the way up, and then there's no sloshing room. It won't slosh out. I'll just leave that plugged into there, so when I go to fill it up, I can just take the gas nozzle and just stick it down in there, fill it up. So it already had these fittings on here. Normally they're just probably be a plug. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is have a piece of copper. So I'm going to have a hard line going down in, and it'll screw off right there. I'll screw it in. I'll be able to set that so it's at the back corner. I'll be able to bend it so it's always sitting at the back corner. Anyway, I'll cut that off and I'll put some rubber hose, and I'm going to actually use I have this fuel pump from something. I don't remember what it came off of, but it works good. I just barely tested it to see if it could draw fuel, if it actually had enough suction to pull from the bottom. I actually used it on another gas can, and it easily, within a second, pulls from the very bottom up. So I'll mount this somewhere about right here, and I'm not sure if I'm going to, I've used it before to mute fuel, and I put these clips on years ago to transfer fuel, I think, out of my boat into containers, drain it all. But I'm not sure if I'm just going to, this only draws like 1/2 amp. Tested it out. So I'm not sure if I'm going to leave these on or if I'm just going to put a longer cord and put a cigarette lighter plug. Because virtually everywhere I go, there's a cigarette lighter plug. And so I'll just cigarette lighter plug it all. We have our power cord, which I just took an old cell phone, cigarette lighter plug, left the guts in so the LED lights up when it's on, has a built-in fuse. So that's hooked up to this switch right here. The fuel comes up out this elbow and through here. This right here is nothing. That's just soldered on there to keep the other end attached. Goes through the fuel pump, back down and out, around and around, out this hose, this long hose, and then just to store the end of this hose so it's not sitting on the ground or not getting dirt in it. You can just slide it on there. So let's try it out. I actually have not tested it yet. So plug this in and there's power. It should light up. Lights up, power, see? Lights on, if I shut the power off. Lights on, you put in your car cigarette lighter, whatever. Let's take off the fuel hose. Right now it's only 3.5 feet, maybe 4 feet. Let's just dump it right back in. Flip the switch. And to store it, you just wrap it around or just slide it on here, just like that.